Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Pearl Jam Knits. My name is Emily. I'm a knitter crocheter based out of Denver, Colorado, and this is my knitting podcast where I share current knitting projects I'm working on, any finished objects I may have completed, and any yarn acquisitions I've made and my future plans for those acquisitions. This is episode 3. There is a little bit of a time jump in between episode 2 and episode 3. I do apologize. I was visiting some family in New Mexico. Then I was visiting my best friend in my hometown in Virginia. I came back to New Mexico for a while. I came back to Denver. I got really sick. So I just didn't have time for like 2 months to sit down and film this episode. But on a positive note, that does mean that I have a lot of updates. So I have 2 finished objects. I have my Melange sweater by Petite Knit and a pair of vanilla socks. And for my current objects, my current whips, I have a new cast on. I cast on the Sandro Pullover, which is an all over cable sweater. And I have another pair of vanilla socks that I'm currently working on. And I do have one yarn acquisition. It's some sock yarn. So I'll get into that at the end of the episode. But I do want to start with my finished objects. And I do want to start with my Melange sweater. I'm really excited about this. This was my first drop shoulder sweater. And it was also my first petite knit pattern, which is really exciting. If you're new to the knitting community or you're not familiar with Petite Knit, she's a really popular knitwear designer. She makes patterns for like pretty standard, chic, like I would say timeless and classic objects, especially sweaters. There's like a little bit of controversy with her just because a lot of people are like, oh, Petite Knit's patterns are so plain, blah, they're boring. But I just think like a lot of people, they're popular because a lot of people want to knit what they know they would wear. And her patterns are very like wearable, everyday, like very good and well written, well designed sweater patterns that are timeless, that aren't gonna like go out of fashion. So I think that's why they're so popular. I really enjoyed it. I am now officially a Petite Knit fan as of knitting this sweater, so that's my 2 cents. But this is the Melange sweater, so it is a top-down drop shoulder sweater. It does have an oversized fit with a recommended positive ease of 15 to 20 centimeters, which is 6 to 8 inches. I have a 32-inch bust, and I knit the size extra small, and that did give me the recommended positive ease. So it's a top-down drop shoulder sweater that features European shoulder construction. So you actually start at the back and knit the back yoke first, and you can see the seam where I picked up for the shoulders, and then you knit the shoulders and the front yoke. You join in the round to create the stockinette body, and it does feature 1x1 rib details at the hemline, the cuffs of the sleeves, as well as a folded 1x1 rib collar. And the sleeves are pretty oversized as well. They do have a few decreases along the way, but they're not, just to give it like a super slight taper, but they're not very tapered or tailored. They're oversized as well. I really love this sweater. It is a DK weight gauge, but the pattern actually calls for 2 strands of fingering weight yarn twisted together, like contrasting colors twisted together to create the melange effect, which is why it's called the melange sweater. But you can also use a single strand of DK weight yarn, which is what I did. I did use 4mm needles for the stockinette body, and I used 3.5mm needles for the ribbing. It also features Italian bind off at the sleeves and the hemline, which is really pretty. I did not make any modifications to this sweater. It's exactly as written. I did attempt to make a modification. I knit the body and then I got to the bottom to the hemline, and I wanted to do 2x2 rib just because I really like the way it looks. And there was, I think, 2 project pages on Ravelry that featured 2x2 rib instead of the 1x1 rib. And I really liked the way those projects looked. So anyway, I knit the entire hemline of the sweater with 2x2 rib, and then I got to the bottom and I didn't realize it features Italian bind off. And it also features a few double knit setup rows before you do the Italian bind off. And those are all written specifically to follow the 1x1 rib pattern. And I did not know how to like do it with a 2x2 rib rather than a 1x1 rib, because it would be different. And I was just starting to like confuse myself. I did 2 attempts to start and I ripped them back because both of them didn't work. So then I was so frustrated that at that point that I was like, I'm just like, I don't even want to look at this anymore. Like, I'm just going to move on and come back and finish this later. So I just did a traditional cast off, and I knew I would come back and fix it. And then I knit the sleeves, and I did the 1x1 rib on the sleeves, and I really liked it. So I went back, ripped back all the 2x2 rib, did the 1x1, and then did the Italian bind off with the double knitting. And it looks really good. I'm glad I went back and fixed it. I think it would be possible. Obviously, it is possible because people have done it, but for me, I'm still like relatively new to knitting, and that was just like too much for me. It was making this project like not fun anymore to try and figure out how to do the 2x2 rib with the Italian bind off. So I just like was like, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that. Not for me. But yeah, that's the only modification I attempted to make, which was unsuccessful. So otherwise, this is completely knit to pattern with no modifications. I really love this finished object. So my inspiration with this sweater was I really wanted to create something autumnal and fall. Fall's my favorite season, so I really just wanted something like a little bit festive that I could wear in the fall season. So I actually picked the yarn first. I went yarn shopping. I chose the Cascade Merino DK in the color Pumpkin Heather. Let me give you a close up because it is really pretty. And I picked it because it's very fall. It has like all different kinds of tones of orange and red. There's a little bit of brown and even some like fluorescent yellow. You can kind of see the flecks of yellow in there. So it was very fall, festive. And once I picked the yarn, I went on to Ravelry and was looking for patterns. And what drew me to the Melange sweater pattern was I really liked the sample photos. All of the project pages were pretty positive. It didn't seem like too hard, like too challenging of a pattern for me. But my biggest goal with this was to do a drop shoulder sweater. So I liked the fit of this one. I thought it looked really nice for my first drop shoulder. And it was an oversized fit, which I did want as well, but it also wasn't like insanely oversized. I didn't want something that would like swallow me. I wanted something that like was still relatively like not too oversized. And so it just kind of checked all the boxes. It is a paid pattern. I believe I paid $8. Let me check my note. Yeah, it was around $8 when I bought it. Final thoughts on this project. This really boosted my confidence a lot. I've only ever done raglan sweaters in the past. I knit this sweater I'm wearing. It's a cardigan. This is a raglan construction. And I knit the first, what is it? The Step-by-Step Sweater was my first sweater by Florence Miller. That's a raglan pattern as well. So it really boosted my confidence to do something different and branch out. This features a lot of German short rows. That's how you shape the entire back. So I feel super comfortable with short row shaping now. I feel like I can do anything with short rows. Also, the Italian bind off, having to do it 3 times for the hem and both the sleeves really gave me a lot of confidence with that as well. The folded down collar, all of it, like the shaping of this sweater and the entire process just really like boosted my confidence and made me feel like a better knitter, which made me feel pretty good. And the finished object is beautiful. I think I'm really happy with it. The only negative is, and it's not the pattern, it's me. With this pattern, I realized I have really long arms. So this is the 3rd sweater that I've made. Like I said, I did the Step-by-Step sweater, I made this cardigan, and then this is my 3rd sweater. And with all of my patterns, my sleeves have been slightly short. And so I should have kind of known by now to modify it by making the sleeves a little longer, but I don't know why I didn't like realize it yet. But with this pattern, I did knit it exactly to pattern, and the sleeves are like a little bit short. They are not bracelet length sleeves, but they're like pushing it. They're borderline like too short. So I'm not going to go back and fix it because I'm not really the type of person to want to go back and fix a finished object. Like once it's done, it's kind of done. I don't, unless it was something like glaringly terrible, I really don't want to go back and redo anything. So I'm going to leave the sleeves the way they are, but now I know like for future patterns, future sweaters, I should probably make the sleeves a little bit longer. And it, like I said, it's not the pattern, it's I have like freakishly long arms. So that's my only negative note on this. Other than that, it was really fun. It took me 2 months. I cast this on June June 17th, or no, June 19th, and I completed it on August 19th. So it was about 2 months on the needles. I think I could have gotten it done a little bit quicker if I didn't have that whole drama issue with the 2x2 rib at the bottom. I think if I would have just gone straight through and followed the pattern and done 1x1 rib, I probably would have cut a lot of time off of this, which, it's not a race, but I probably could have gotten this done a little quicker. I did complete it in time for fall as of recording this. I think it's August 25th today. It's the end of August. So I finished it just in time to start wearing for fall, to be festive. So that's a plus too. But yeah, I loved this project, boosted my confidence a lot. I'm excited to make more drop shoulder sweaters in the future and also more petite knit patterns in the future. I just want to talk about the yarn really quick too. So I did enjoy this yarn as well. This is the Cascade Merino DK in Pumpkin Heather. It is a DK weight yarn. It is 100% merino wool. It's pretty soft. It's definitely like not as slippery or soft as like a superwash or like a very fine merino. It's just, but it's not itchy. It's definitely not itchy. It's not rustic or rough or anything like that. It's just not like the softest possible yarn on earth, but it is soft and I do enjoy it and I can't wait to wear this. So my next finished object is my vanilla socks by the Crazy Sock Lady, and I knit these with Patton's Croy sock in the color blue raspberry. Ew, there's some, sorry, there's hair on it. I have really long hair and it sheds a lot, so it just gets all over everything. These I knit a size medium. I have knit this pattern before and with the same yarn, just a different color. And previously I knit a size small. They do fit, but I just kind of wanted to try knitting a medium to see if they fit a little bit better because the small are just like ever so slightly the tiniest bit, a little bit tight. They're just hard to get over my heel sometimes. So anyway, I decided to knit the medium and I do like the fit of the medium better. For reference, I wear a women's size 7.5 shoe and I have a 9-inch foot circumference around the widest part of my foot, and the size medium fits me. I did make a modification to this pattern. I did a 2x2 rib rather than a 1x1 rib, but traditionally it's a top-down 1x1 rib stockinette body. It features a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. And the toe wedge is created with decreases, and then you Kitchener stitch the end of the toe together, which is pretty seamless. I don't think you can even really see it. I have worn these a few times. You can kind of tell they are like a little bit fuzzy. This yarn, as I mentioned, is the Patton's Croy sock. It is pretty, it's not like super soft. It's a little bit rough. It is a little bit itchy. However, for socks, it works for me because I don't have like sensitive ankles or feet. So I can wear these without any discomfort or anything like that. However, I would not use this yarn for any kind of project that like touches my face or like maybe my neck or hands. Basically, I would really only use this for socks because it is a little bit rough. It is superwash. It's a 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon, which is really nice because I wear my knit socks a lot. So I do like to throw them into the wash with my laundry because I wear them so much. It's just really convenient. They do show wear pretty quickly. And I think that's because my washing machine is a little bit rough. I don't wash them on the delicate cycle, which like maybe I should. I do not dry these in the dryer. I do air dry them. But like you can kind of see a little bit of fuzziness. And my other pair that I have made with the same type of yarn do show some wear as well. Not any deterioration, but they're just kind of like fuzzy, and they do have pilling at the heel flap, which I think is normal. But this yarn is very durable, I will say, like because I have worn my last pair of socks like over and over so many times, and they don't show any deterioration, signs of deterioration. They, like I said, they just kind of get a little fuzzy, which is fine with me. I believe they call that felting for any knitting pros out there. Okay, so those are both of my finished objects for the month of August. I do have a new cast on, which is exciting. This is my Sandro Pullover by Knitting Flem, aka Flaminia Lauracini. Like, what a pretty name, right? This is an all over cable sweater. It's a drop shoulder sweater as well. It's a DK weight gauge. The yarn that I'm using is Knit Picks Swish DK in the color Nutmeg Heather. And it's very soft. It's a superwash yarn, so it's really soft. And you can kind of tell from this, it does have like quite a bit of drape, which is really pretty. And it calls for 4mm needles for the body. There is some ribbing on this as well, 1x1 rib details, which call for a 3.5mm needle. But this is all I've done so far. I haven't even gotten close to doing any ribbing. This is the back yoke. So like this is where the neck would be. And then these are the shoulders here at the sides. And then the armholes will be here like on the side where I'm wiggling my pinky. Yeah, I've loved this pattern so far. It's been like such a pleasure to work with this yarn. I am a wooden needle type of person, and this like sensory experience of using this really soft, like bouncy yarn with my wooden needles has been like heaven. It's been so nice. This is like my favorite like feeling of working with yarn so far. My goal with this project was to do a textured knit. I picked something that wasn't too crazy. I got really excited at first when I had the idea to do a textured knit, and I was looking at like cable, like super intense cabled sweaters, or like the petite knit patterns. I think it's the Ingrid sweater that has like a bunch of different texture, as well as the Storm sweater, which is kind of similar. And those were my first picks, but then I was like, I don't know if those would even be fun for me. Knitting is my like relaxed, like meditative hobby. So I knew I probably wouldn't have fun if I was trying to do a like crazy textured sweater. That's what attracted me to this pattern, because the cables are relatively simple. This was my first sweater where I had to follow a chart, which was cool. So I learned how to read charts, knitting charts. I cast this on August 22nd, and I believe today is the 25th. So I've got a lot of progress done so far. Like I said, it's fun to work on this. So I'm pulling it out of my project bag like every chance I get. It is an oversized sweater. I'm not sure if I mentioned. It does have an oversized fit, a recommended positive ease of 26.5 to 33 centimeters, which equates to 10.5 to 13 inches. As I said previously, I am a 32-inch full bust, and I am knitting the size 2, which will give me the recommended amount of ease. So a little bit more on the yarn. This is the Knit Pick Swish DK in the color Nutmeg Heather. It is a superwash yarn, 100% extra fine superwash merino wool. So I think the extra fine wool is what makes it so soft. It is about $7 a skein, and I bought 10 for this project. All right, so my next work in progress is another pair of vanilla socks. What can I say about this pattern that I haven't already said? I love this pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. It is available for free on her YouTube channel. She has all kinds of sock tutorials. I did opt to pay for the PDF version so I could print it out, which was only $2. The yarn that I'm using is Patton's Croy sock in the color muslin. I do kind of regret knitting this sock with this yarn. I think with this plain, like creamy off-white color, it would look really cool if I tried any kind of like textured sock, like rib or cable or something. But I just cast this on really quick. I brought it with me while I was traveling and on the airplane. So I just had this and I threw it in my bag because socks are a really portable project. I am knitting the size medium again, as I previously have, and I also did the same modification to this sock where I opted for a 2x2 rib rather than a 1x1 rib. And I do love knitting socks on the 9-inch circulars. I'm so thankful for this pattern. I'm so thankful for 9-inch circulars, because if they didn't exist, I would not be a sock knitter. I like enjoy using magic loop enough when I need to, but it's not like my favorite way to knit things. I don't like needing to like stop and then move the needle and then move my stitches. Like I like just being able to go with the flow and like seamlessly just keep going. It's really relaxing to me. So I'm really grateful for this pattern as well as 9-inch circulars, because they have made me a sock knitter, where otherwise I don't think I would be. I wouldn't have the patience to do a whole sock on magic loop, let alone a second sock on magic loop. Or I definitely do not have the patience to do it with DPNs. Definitely not. Definitely not. I don't like DPNs. I have one new yarn acquisition. It is a pair of skeins of sock yarn. So when I ordered the yarn for my Sandro pullover from Knit Picks, they got me. They got me with the marketing. I needed like a couple more dollars to get free shipping. So I picked up 2 skeins of the Knit Picks Stroll, which is a fingering weight sock yarn. It is 75% fine superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. It is very soft. It is a lot softer than the Patton's Croix sock, which is the only other sock yarn I've ever used. Does it say the color? Oh, hollyberry. And I picked this because I thought it would be a really good like Christmas color for a Christmas sock. So I'm excited to use this. I probably won't cast these on for a while. Um, and I do want to do a textured sock. I'm thinking rib, but maybe something else. I don't know. But yeah, that is all I have for today for the month of August. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching. Again, I am sorry for the time jump. My goal is to put these out about every month, so hopefully I can really stick to that schedule in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching. I can't wait to share more updates with you guys, and I hope you guys have a good week. Bye.